Well, in recent times, Akwa Ibom State has been at the forefront politically talking about the developments in the state. And of course, you remember that last week, Pastor Umanah, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, had taken that bold step, moving to the APC from the PDP. And since then, even before then, there were a lot of speculations and reactions from stakeholders and people of Akwa Ibom who had a thing or two to say as regards what this move spells for the Akwa Ibom people. To further bring us some insight and context to what is the current situation in Akwa Ibom State in terms of governance, politics, and of course bringing the development that the governor promised to the people of Akwa Ibom State, we have in the studio with us Commissioner for Internation, Akwa Ibom State, Honorable Aniekan Umanah, joins us live. You're welcome on the program. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Well, we're looking at the recent political developments in the state, and a major one has been the defection of the governor from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. And there has been the defense that this is for the interest of the people of the state. And I'd like to understand, what exactly do Akwa Ibom people stand to gain from this political shift?
Yes, thank you very much once again for having me. I want to say that the movement of His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, from the former party to the APC now, as he did say, if you listen to him, is predicated on enlightened state interest. And going along the lines of the discussion, the benefits for Akwa Ibom State and Akwa Ibom people are numerous. They are numerous. Number one, Akwa Ibom is the highest contributor to the national revenue. Akwa Ibom oil production is the highest. And it is only smart thinking that a state should be involved in the administration at the center that controls and supervises and superintends over the sharing. I think that's common logic. It's common logic. That is one. That is one. Akwa Ibom also is positioned by that alignment to be able to draw bigger benefits to the state. For instance, recall that not too long ago, His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umanah, led the people of Akwa Ibom State, 104 of them, together with His Excellency, the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, or GCFR, right? Did GCON moved to meet the president, and they requested, amongst other things, intervention and support in the development of the Ibom Deep Seaport project. That itself is huge, because we have a backwater here that's over 16 meters of deep sea draft that requires the development of a deep sea port that will completely change the economic narrative of this state if that happens. The strength of Lagos and any port city is that the ports are working and goods and services can come in from everywhere. That maritime economy does a lot. So the state government cannot do this alone. What His Excellency is doing under the infrastructure element of the Arise agenda by developing the maritime infrastructure in Oron to restore that whole ecosystem isn't enough, because we need the deep sea port to come in, and all of this will now be support system to the main maritime blue economy that's intended for Akwa Ibom State in that area.
So, Honorable Commissioner, are you saying categorically that without this alignment with the center, it would have been impossible for all these lofty aspirations of the administration of Governor Umanah to be realized?
We have been at it for many, many years, and it has not come through. So it's only smart thinking. We have been at it for many years. We have been at the drawing board trying to get things done. So of course, you know that in the last 8 years and so on, there have been efforts. Before then, there were efforts, but when it got to a point of crystallization, you needed the federal government backing. You need the intervention. You need the support. You need the revenue. You need the guarantees. You need everything that will make investors want to come in there. And it's not what a subnational government can do alone. So the Ibom Deep Seaport Initiative requires federal government participation and involvement to make it happen in reasonable time.
But Akwa Ibom was always aligned to the center just till recently. Why wasn't that realized?
Yeah, that's why I said that was in the works at the time. But it also got to a point of crystallization. When it got to the point of crystallization, you will need the backing. There must be some groundworks before you get up to say that you can immediately just go on building a deep sea port. There's a lot involved. It's not a tea party.
All right, please. Jenny, please. Let me just get this out before you come in. Now, let's go back to the basics from the very beginning. We know that when these rumors of the governor moving to the APC came out, it was rumors at that stage, but then eventually we saw innuendos, metaphorical comments that came out, even through the governor himself. He made some comments making suggestions as regards comparisons with airlines and all of that. But eventually, would you say that this was a method towards watering the ground and sort of giving people prior notice to get to find out what the reaction or how the persons in Akwa Ibom, the people in Akwa Ibom, will be receiving the news of his movement?
No, the people had received the news and they are reacting very favorably to it. You saw it right from the hall, the day he announced the movement. But like you said earlier, when the analogy of airlines or whatever was drawn, like you put together, it was just a way of letting you know that he who is on the driver's seat, like His Excellency, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umanah, he knows the path. He knows the route he's following. As he is driving, he knows where the bombs are. And in this case, he already found the bombs very seriously, and he needs to avoid the bombs and stay on course in the interest of Akwa Ibom. And that's exactly what is happening.
Okay, well, there's one aspect that happened during the defection move, and one of that was the misinformation, and there were some comments about defections by some commissioners, but later on it was refuted. And as the Commissioner for Information, one aspect which most governments have always had issues with has been issues of misinformation. What is your plan or strategy to ensure that issues of misinformation and misrepresentation of government statements are handled or tackled effectively?
Yes, first let me start by saying that what you just reported happened was the handiwork of mischief makers, because people just sat down right away inside the hall. Actually, at the time, even the movement to APC was not even announced when that broke. And of course, we knew and saw where it came from. I think from one online organ. We saw it and just laughed. And the man they even referred to was seated next to me and was just laughing. So what's all this? So the misinformation, you will always have it, particularly in these days of citizens, journalists, online marauders. You know, you have internet merchants who are just hitting the send button and sending whatever, whether it is imagined real or fake, they're just sending them out. But that is not the case. That is not what we are looking at now. What we are looking at is what you just mentioned, how to manage. Well, how to manage is what we're doing here. How to put the facts across is what we're doing here. That's why we're here. So that if you have questions on issues you don't understand, we can put them in the right perspective and create the right education and the right enlightenment for the people of Akwa Ibom State and other Nigerians.
All right, Honorable Commissioner. Well, the governor, is no news that he was elected overwhelmingly under the platform of the PDP. And with this move, I'm wondering what the justification would be for the administration. Yes, you've mentioned that it is to align the state with the center. But what is the pulse of the former party, the PDP? Is the PDP in agreement with what's happening currently in the state?
His Excellency, the governor of Akwa Ibom State and the leader of the state has moved political party. It is not new in the political history of Nigeria for a governor or even sitting members or National Assembly members to move party. It is nothing new in the political trajectory of Nigeria. There are people who are even founding members of the PDP who are no more in the party today, who founded the party. There are people who also founded other parties who are not. There are people who are also part of the beginning of the APC that are not there. So the issue of movement, yes, it's about aligning interests to suit the direction that you are going. It's not necessarily about the age that a political party has been in power. There is a political party, I think the PRI in Mexico or where that was there for 76 years, 71 years, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, there was a time there was a shift, and the country carried on. So if Akwa Ibom has moved from the PDP to the APC, it has moved, and that's represented by the leader of the state, and that is His Excellency Governor Umanah. So in this case, you saw the level of support and the mass movement that followed that announcement. You saw the National Assembly caucus announcing their movement. You saw the State Assembly in entirety represented by the Speaker, and all of them marched out there announcing their movement. You saw the local government chairman, they all filed out there. You saw the Algon chairman there, and they announced their movement. You saw the Executive Council of the state and the SSG, President Obama, who made the announcement on behalf of ESCO members, and everyone else that went through this process. You see, like the governor said, moving political party does not change who he is or change his value. That is simply a change of vehicle to allow him achieve the set political goals in the interest of Akwa Ibom. Don't forget, he did say, and he has never minced words, that his support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is sacrosanct. His support for His Excellency the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, GCON, is sacrosanct. And he also did say that he will not be able to give them the support that he should from another political party. That is one of the aspects. But coming back to the main issue, he has to navigate the backwater and the murky waters of every political scenario, because no two political scenarios are the same. You know the issues with the PDP at the national level. So there is no point pretending to be gambling over what you do not understand, what you cannot immediately predict the outcome. That has been the issue. But like he did say, the main focus is the Arise agenda. The Arise agenda is a political mantra or developmental mantra that has no political coloration. The Arise agenda has no political coloration because the development of Akwa Ibom State has no political coloration. Roads are built. Agricultural, if we have to dissect the Arise agenda, the agricultural revolution that is going through in the state and the massive provision of food knows no political party. It gets to everybody. The rural development mantra that is dotting projects across the 31 local government areas of the state knows no political party. It's in the interest of the people of Akwa Ibom State. And that's why it's extending development everywhere, model health centers, model schools, model roads everywhere, 710 as we speak. The security, the peace and security, the infrastructure development knows no political party. The peace and security that we're enjoying in Akwa Ibom State under the Arise agenda is not a respecter of political parties, because everyone, whether in party A or B, must live in peace, and that is the essence of government for the people. The essence of government is to ensure the security of lives and property of the citizens. And under the Arise agenda, the security mantra is taking care of everybody, including those who do not even belong to political parties. The educational advancement program of His Excellency Governor Umanah under the Arise agenda knows no political parties, because no children of anyone that will not be allowed to go to school because your father or your mother belongs to a certain political party. So the main non-political agenda, which is the agenda of the people, like he did say in that hall, is the Arise agenda. And that is what we should really be bothered about, because that is what is transforming the state for you and I, for our children and children. The retired workers who were owed 92 billion of gratuities and pensions outstanding, that the governor has cleared about 78 billion so far. They do not belong to political parties. These are people of Akwa Ibom State. So the Arise agenda is a developmental blueprint for the people of Akwa Ibom State, irrespective of political parties. That is why he said that he will continue to develop and work for Akwa Ibom State, irrespective of political lines.
Honorable Commissioner, as lofty as his plans are, we understand that he's made declarations numerous times, countless times, about his plan for a unified government. But we can't take away the fact that there could be some aggrieved persons from the People's Democratic Party, and some comments or speculations have had it that his movement to the All Progressives Congress is as a result of some internal wranglings with his predecessor. And there's also been the speculation that the movement to the All Progressives Congress is based on his newfound love with the Senate President. Is there a possibility that in times to come, that if it happens to be that there are some political issues in the People's Democratic Party where they come forward and try to talk about the movement, that the governor would have the capacity to manage issues if it ever has to come to pass?
Yes, Kalaya, let me answer that very quickly, and I can say to you that for His Excellency Governor Umanah, if you go back and play his inaugural speech, he said he came to Akwa Ibom, part of his agenda was the Ministry of Reconciliation. And he did say that he would run an Akwa Ibom where everyone, irrespective of political affiliation, will have an opportunity to express and develop themselves. And he's lived this mantra from day one. So it's not just a today thing. If you are talking about relationships, he has demonstrated that across board. He has shown deep respect to everyone who has had the opportunity of leading this state at different levels. From the first, from the former governor from 1999, His Excellency Obong Victor, and His Excellency the Senate President, who was governor of Akwa Ibom State 2007 to 2015, to His Excellency Mr. Akwa Emmanuel, who was governor 2015 to 2023, he's shown deep respect, and he has maintained that deep respect for all of them. Even on the day that His Excellency the Senate President was sworn in, I was in his company when we paid a visit to the Senate President in his house in Abuja before the main reception. And he has shown that level of respect across board, and that is what he represents. He will continue to do that with the leaders of Akwa Ibom at various levels.
Well, talking about the faction now and the various political interests that would arise. Now, we know that before the PDP, the former PDP members, as there were, moved to the APC, there were already people who were in the APC and who had one interest or the other. What would be the processes that will be taken towards ensuring that there's a reconciliation to sort of ensure that there are no rifts along the line? And talking about who the leader of the party currently in the APC is, how would you address that?
There is nobody who is in the APC today who was not in the PDP at some point. So as far as I am concerned, political movements are things that politicians understand. Various fusions and realignments will be done internally to ensure that the party and the leadership moves in one direction.
And their interests for Akwa Ibom people specifically, that they hope to reap from this move?
Akwa Ibom people will reap from this move, and that's what I said at the beginning, that the whole realignment is in the interest of Akwa Ibom. I just mentioned a few areas. There are so many things that will come by this alignment. There will be a lot in terms of infrastructural development. Already we are benefiting even from an aspect of the Lagos-Calabar coastal road, and I'm sure all of those will have expedited action, because you can't really be in opposition and have those benefits come in that manner if you understand how politics works. So I hope to see some of our major federal roads here working, and then funding being provided earlier than it should be, not because they are not doing them, but of course it will be the push will be closer. It is easier when you are closer to the source, and then you have that same belief system. It's just like going to church. It's not as if you are not all worshiping God, but of course when you are a communicant, the tendency is that you will relate more with your bishop or your father or your reverend or pastor, as the case may be, and you have the opportunity of getting things done a lot quicker and better. So this alignment obviously will bring more benefits to Akwa Ibom State, more benefits to Akwa Ibom people. There will be multiple and more appointments, because of course from different angles, they will be requested from different angles. More and more things will happen to Akwa Ibom in the coming days. Okay. I want Akwa Ibom people to just be steadfast, be peaceful, continue to follow His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, as he leads the state to the next level.
Okay, there are some fears expressed concerning some of the lofty plans and policies of Governor Umanah while he was serving as a governor under the People's Democratic Party. And one of that has been the employment portal, the farm empowerment for farmers, and different other policies or plans which the governor had already set in motion. The question is, would these plans also be kept up with, or are there other new expectations?
No, the plans are on. The plans are on and will continue. Like the grants you are talking about, the farmers' grants will continue because they've been disbursed at federal constituency by federal constituency. It reduces downward to the local government. The 2 billion naira farmers' grant is going on. We've already done the 6 federal constituency, remaining 4. The remaining 4 will be attended to as the schedules come out. The farmers' grant, the traders' grant, they are getting them. The SMS's grant up to 5 million naira, they are also getting them in different federal constituencies and local government. That's a program of government. That's a program of government. It's not a program of a political party. It's a program of government, as government of Akwa Ibom State. And the program of government continues. Government continues. Government will go on. That's why I took time to explain to you that the Arise agenda is the real people's mantra, because you don't need to belong to a political party to benefit from the Arise agenda. Because as you can see, the Arise agenda there, from agriculture all the way to education, the governor is working for the people through the Arise agenda. And most of them who are even voters that are beneficiaries of the Arise agenda are not members of a political party. The highest percentage of the beneficiaries of the programs of government are not card-carrying members of any political party. So I will urge the people to continue to believe in the governor, His Excellency Pastor Umanah, continue to savour the benefits and dividends of the Arise agenda, continue to trust the governor, and continue to pray for him and pray for the continued development of Akwa Ibom State. But I can assure you that the current movement of the people of Akwa Ibom State into the APC will bring greater unity, it will bring greater development, and it will bring a seamless process of political unification. And I already foresee the 2027 election being one of the best and the simplest and the sweetest elections that will see Pastor Umanah return to the Hilltop Mansion, and His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and His Excellency, the Senate President, all return, because the unity that they have forged together now will make the process very smooth and seamless. All
right, so that's talking about election now. That will be your parting shot. The South-South, that was once a political stronghold of the PDP, is now left with 2 states, Bayelsa and Rivers, which is of course in crisis right now. What do you see happening moving forward in the coming days, months? And
I think I will wait and see. But the way it is, you see, the South Side is working towards becoming one bloc, consolidated into what it used to be, working through one political party. So, like you said, we just have 2 left. The one is almost gone. One, in fact, it actually is one that's left if you really want to look at it, because the other one is on half leg at the moment. So yeah, I see the South becoming a bloc again under a single political party. I see that happening. That's my personal opinion, and I don't know what they have in mind, but I think so.
Well, okay, Honorable Commissioner for Information, Akwa Ibom State, Honorable Aniekan Umanah, we must thank you especially for making out time to come on Niger Delta today. And we're hoping that this new movement of the state government for the interests of the Akwa Ibom people would indeed yield the hopes and aspirations that we are looking forward to. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. We'll be letting you know as the benefits come. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you.